Kamala Harris, who shouldn't be there. She shouldn't be. She's a threat to democracy.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked power. That's what he's looking for.
I think in order to understand Trump and understand what might he do, all you have to do is listen to him. He has said over and over again that the 2020 election was stolen. He has talked about jailing his political opponents. He has talked about citizens of the United States that vote against him as enemies. This is language that is threatening to America and threatening to democracy.
So talk about fascism and talk about rhetoric. It is the Democrats that have brought on the hatred for President Trump, because before he ran for president, they used to love him.
I think when it comes to the rhetoric from both candidates regarding democracy, they both have been using language that is fairly alarmist and that has caused people to become, I almost want to say, radicalized in their opinions of each candidate.
His longest serving chief of staff, John Kelly, a general in the US military, went so far as to finally come out and say these things last week. That was a huge step for him. You know, our military members are supposed to be bipartisan, and so this is not something that General Kelly wanted to do, but he felt like he had to. He felt like he had to warn the American people.
Let's not forget, it was the Democrat voters who nominated President Biden for a second term. Talk about fascism, it was the elites within the Democrat Party who ousted President Biden and appointed Kamala Harris to be their nominee without one single vote, which is very fascinating. So again, I think they are guilty of what they accuse President Trump of doing.
The way that the Harris campaign has described Donald Trump as a fascist, it gets people's opinions really riled up, and it gets their emotions riled up, and people have argued that that in itself is a threat to US democracy.
Harris isn't threatening the United States by pointing this out in Donald Trump. She is, I think, trying to make the United States safer by saying, if you vote for Donald Trump, this is what could potentially happen to our democracy and our institutions.
I would say what I've learned over the years is that the Democrats and the mainstream media here in America, whenever they accuse of President Trump of doing something, they are actually guilty themselves. But so they continued and created nothing more than just lies. And it's been almost 8 years of nonstop lying against President Trump, and that's what's sad.
The fact is that when you look at Donald Trump's rhetoric, it's not only his rhetoric that's a threat to democracy. So whereas Harris talks about the idea of Trump as a threat, Trump actually talks about things that people are genuinely worried that he's going to do, and that's what makes it really dangerous.